does impeachment bar him from? Apart from holding political office, can he still be party leader? Can he still be a political leader? Can he still be a patron of a party?
So thank you very much. I think as I seek to answer those two, the position of impeachment is that you are barred from holding a state or public office, I think for at least 10 years, which what is clear is that any electable office is out of bounds, or any appointive office is out of bounds. As to that of a political party chairman...
So he cannot even be in cabinet?
No, he can't. The challenge has been on the political party's aspect, being the political leader or the party leader. I think that would be the next conversation. If his impeachment is confirmed, I'm certain someone may seek to go to court to seek a clarification, because the former governor of Nairobi, Mike Sonko, has even registered a party and is active with it. So that is one aspect that is yet to be clearly defined, which I think it should be. Number two, you're asking about his continued viability as long as the case is alive.
Yes.
That is the position. Why? Because until a matter is determined, you have to exhaust all the appellate process. So even if today the court validates the impeachment, he still has an option to go to Court of Appeal. He still has an option to appeal even further the Supreme Court. But remember, as soon as the Supreme Court makes a decision, then that's fine. That's what happened to
We've seen
Mike
how
Sonko.
long this case has taken.
Yes,
2024.
same thing for Mike Sonko. They did not take all the way to the point of election. He became a formidable governor candidate in Mombasa. And only 3 weeks to the election is when the Supreme Court determined that matter and says that the impeachment proceedings at both at the High Court and the Court of Appeal were proper. And that was it. So that avenue remains, because when it comes to appellate rights, any person, whether convicted in criminal matter or having a civil matter or commercial matter in court, the appellate avenues are there until and when they are fully exhausted. That's where you could see Mike Sonko was trying to approach the East African Court, which completely has a different jurisdiction, cannot rule over an appellate from the Supreme Court. So that was a bit different. So as long as the matter is still active in court, which it is right now, that has given the platform to the former deputy president to campaign and brand himself as a possible candidate. But this other bit has been hanging like a sword of Damocles just on top of his head, depending on where it swings. So if it swings in his favor, then it's all system go. Unlike a case where you would just be waiting until and when the court determines. There was something else you asked that I think that was important. Political implication. To be honest, I don't think it has any much implication, except if the decision is that he's viable. As we speak right now, in the United Opposition and even his posturing, he's been mostly being the kingmaker. So if the court validates the impeachment, it continues, nothing changes. It does not weaken his position. It actually helps to steady the ship in the opposition, because it is one headache less.
Yes.
Because they don't have to consider him for any of those positions. It will be easy. In fact, it makes him easy to negotiate out for others and force, for example, a joint ticket of some kind. He will be just like Uhuru Kenyatta, because being a former president, he's not eligible to vie, so he's not seeking any position. So as Uhuru is trying to cobble together a coalition of some kind in the opposition, or a ticket, because the biggest challenge for opposition at the moment is to come up with a ticket. Who is the candidate, who is the running mate? But where the major implication comes in is if it's declared viable, because it's two ways. On the opposition side, they carry a burden, because that would mean he is rightfully back into the equation. And he purports to represent a vote block that is so big that cannot be wished away from consideration of either the presidency and the deputy presidency. So that becomes a further headache to the opposition. On the part of the government, then you are facing a resurgent Rigathi, because now he'll be coming in with a lot of fire and brimstone. So where I think we should focus more about implication is if the court nullifies the impeachment process. But if the court upholds that, then it is business as usual, which he's been doing the past 1.5 years or 2 years. He's been that so-called kingmaker. He's been trying to sell this agenda that, look, we are taking the government home. That will continue. The implication will be very minimal to that end. In fact, he will continue reminding his as he's saying, his purported millions of supporters, that they should just remember that this is a continued injustice. And you know, in Kenya, we always have this aspect. You know, Kenya has a peculiar way of, there's nothing that is done and just accepted as is. Like, no prominent person dies without us saying, kuna kitu alifanyiwa. So the same with this. He can still run with us and say, you see, my injustice continues.
Right.
So that can be. But on the other bit, the main focus, if it's declared viable.
All right.
Yes.
But there are those who argue that if it's declared viable, it would actually be better for President William Ruto, because he will be causing problems for the united opposition. Without that unity, then even better for President Ruto, don't you think?
I think, Fred, the first thing that happens the moment in the event that the impeachment is nullified, the first thing that will happen